Okay, in this episode, we're putting the transom bracket on the back of the boat. Doesn't hurt to have 3 friends and maybe a tractor. So, here's how we're doing it. Well, the hardest part was getting the transom bracket out of the garage. Thank God for my neighbor Tom and his handy dandy tractor. We popped it on the forks on the front of the tractor and brought it back to the boat. So now we're off hooking the transom up. Okay, well, we've got the transom bracket up with the help of some neighbors and some props and some jack stands and some straps. We got the transom bracket on the back of the boat. And the objective here is to get it centered and mark out 4 holes and put the bolts in so that I can crawl up there and open these little round things and reach in and mark the inside holes. And then I'll put this and take it off 3 times. This is the first time. The second time, I got to take it off and drill all the other holes. And then the third time, I got to take it off once all the bolts are fitted and tightened down and shown they're in the right place. I've got to take it all back off, goop it up with some caulk for the center section, and put it back on permanently. So it'll be 3 times for the transom bracket. I'm putting the transom bracket on. You see here I got it on the stands, and I've been doing some additional measuring. Originally I did the center line down there. I started 3 inches from the drain plug, and from that went up 24, which is this line right here. But it appears, if you see, there is a little mark down here, and that's, I don't know if you can see it, it's 14 inches from the center line. It appears that this bracket, let me get the tape measure out here. Center to center is 28 inches. So if you look at that, from the center of that bracket to the center of this one is 28 inches, which is good for either 2 or 4-stroke engines. 4 strokes are a little chubby, so they go to 28, although you could narrow it up for 2 strokes. So that means that I've got to move this down 2 inches to this mark, because what the instructions call for is at the 14-inch on either side, they want to have the top of the transom basically 24 inches from the bottom of the boat to the top of this. That means these holes that I've measured have to be also moved down 2 inches. So I've got to move the bracket down 2 inches, reposition and remeasure. Although, like I say, I've read the instruction sheet 4 times, and that appears to be the important measurement. Basically, from the center of the motor, you're looking. This is made for a 25-inch shaft length on the motor. Also got some new straps that fit in the holes here so I can pull it. So we've got to fit it and mark it again. The other thing I did was I measured and put a center mark on the transom bracket, so I know where the center is. So I know where the center on the boat is and the center on the bracket to get it. Yeah, plus it needs to be washed. Hockey poo. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Do it over again. One more time. Okay, let me go over the instructions here for mounting a twin engine transom bracket. If you look, you start out here with the drain plug and the keel right here being the center line of the boat. Then you go up here and you measure to the edges. I chose where the lifting rings were, and you come up with the center line right here. And the center line is important. In a twin engine transom bracket, the center line is important only because it's the center line. The next important locations are here and here. In a twin engine transom bracket, the center of each motor is from the center line 14 inches over to the hull and 14 inches over to the hull. Basically, there's a propeller sitting right here and a propeller sitting right here. So from this point, from the center line to the bottom of the boat at 14 inches, you go from here and you measure up 24, and that gives you where your starboard motor goes, and you measure 24 inches up from this point to this line. That gives you where the port engine goes, and the line between them becomes where the top of the transom bracket will mount. Now, if you have a single engine transom bracket, your propeller will be down here. Okay? I'm going to suspect with a 25-inch shaft engine. You see over here, 25 shaft inch engines. If you only had a single propeller on a transom bracket or a single outboard, you'd want to put the motor down below the keel of the boat, and so you would measure from this point and you would go up 24 inches because this would be the center line of the single motor. That's the instructions for placing a transom bracket. Made some progress today. I got 4 holes drilled. I don't know if you can see under here, and if you can see the hole there. I've got it drilled through the transom. I've got this on jack stands. I've got 1 bolt in over here. As you see, got that 1 bolt. I need to get another bolt in, and keep working. The idea here is to get all 4 bolts in, secure the transom so I can open these areas right here and scribe the other bolt holes inside. Well, I don't know if you can see it. I've got a bolt in there. I'm using the 5-inch bolts instead of the 6-inch. I have all the other holes drilled. You can see them here, and over there you can see a bolt. That's another 5-inch. I've got a square block of aluminum that goes on there. So tomorrow I'll put the the bolts in for the bracket. Plan to do is to put in 6 bolts, 4 across the top and 2 further down, and attach them, and that'll be all of the work for this season. Those bolts will hold the transom on over the summertime here, and of course all the normal stuff like storms, and we'll resume next fall. Well, wraps up all the work for this season on the Grady White. The next thing, I'm coming back here in July, and I might get some time. The thing I need to do is take and paint the transom with the all grip, and I'm not putting it in permanently because I got to take it back off for painting. So that's kind of where we sit on the Grady White. Starting next week, we go back and work on the 27-foot wellcraft. As you can guess, there's always it's called a boat. That's an abbreviation for break out another 1,000. There's always something to do on a boat. So we're heading north, and I'll probably get a couple of weeks of work on the Grady White over the summertime. However, the transom, it's basically done until the fall, around November, when I'll start working on it again. And hopefully next winter I'll get a couple of Yamahas hung on this thing, and all the bolts in, and the transom painted. That's where we sit. I hope you enjoyed this season. If you did, please like and subscribe, and start watching the things that I'm doing on the wellcraft, the 27 wellcraft. For the Grady White, we'll come back next season.